So I am trying out some new recording options. Here we go. This one I actually posted before, and before I even get into this is in downtown LA. It's half a million bucks for 1,500 square feet. So total is 333 a square foot, which is pretty nice. That's a good starting off range. It got quite a lot of attention. So the question is, why did I see it before, and why is it back on the market now? So let's go ahead and go down first, take a look at the activity. And you can see here, it came on the market back in February, same price, but in less than 2 weeks it got removed. That tells me there's something going on with the seller and not necessarily a problem with the property. There could be a problem with the property, but in essence, it's not like it's going stale. It's not getting a lot of attention. That's not the problem. Back on the market May 2nd, okay? And it goes contingent real fast. 3 days, it goes off the market. That confirms to us this is a high demand property. We don't like properties that people don't like, right? We want to get the ones that people like. We are competitive people. We get them. We're hungrier than they are. That's why we get them. So when contingent, then the listing removed 2 months later. Very confusing. If you know, this is something you can ask the seller about, like what's the story, what's going on here. Regardless, it went off the market, and then back on. Most likely, possibly this buyer couldn't perform for whatever reason, and so it looks like it's a new listing again. They took it off the market and then put it back on right again. So this is probably a real escrow, didn't work out for whatever reason, and the agent just did a little trick so the property didn't look like it was sitting on the market for too long, which sometimes it comes off that way if you just, when it goes back from contingent directly to listed for sale. Anyways, looking at the history here, before you had kind of this nice trend here, and then it went way down. Is 675 the turnkey value? It might be a little aggressive. It's kind of hard to tell. We can do comps if you're an agent, right? But regardless, we feel like there's some value here. I feel like there's some value at the price per square foot being 333. The chart might confirm that issue, that good value. But regardless, let's just dig in a little bit. So here's the interiors look nice. I mean, I love this kind of craftsmanship. If you want to keep it, you can kind of really restore it and make it look nice again. The first thing I like to go to is the map and just see if there's anything unique about this or not. So we're gonna blow this up. I'm not sure I can do it with this view, but let's give it a shot. Okay, go satellite. Okay, so quiet residential street. You're not on a busy road. You're not next to commercial. That's a bonus. Kind of get a glimpse of where we are downtown. Okay, you're on the wrong side of the 110. This I don't. It's not my preferred area over here. This is USC in this area, right? But let's keep digging in. Looking closer at the property, it's got a decent layout. You got the driveway in the left here, which got parking in the front. You have a shed in the back, a decent sized backyard. Nothing abnormal about this. We can kind of take a look at the lot lines to get pricing around the property. So, okay, this one looks like a smaller house, sold for 460. You got one here sold for not, 900. I don't want to click on it. It's not so easy to switch back after I do it. Maybe we can check it out afterwards. Let's take a look at the street view, see if we can see anything interesting. Oh, I hate it when they blur these things out. Is this the property? I think it is. It looks nice. The street looks decent actually. I like it. You got what looks like a multifamily here, so kind of a mixed use street, right? Not all clearly residential, but mostly residential, which is something I like. You got sidewalks and the road looks pretty decent as well. So those are all good things. Let's go back to the listing. Okay, what do we got? Again, a lot of views. That's excellent. R2 lot, so you can build more on it if you like. Built-in features, transform dream home. So definitely, if it needs transformation, it needs some work. Let's take a look at the pictures. I cannot scroll through them. Okay, looks nice. Not that bad actually. Looks like a light fixer to be honest. Um, you could do cosmetic as long as the plumbing and electrical work. Okay, you could turn this into a rental pretty cheaply, in my opinion. And this looks like an excellent ADU potential. Power lines in the back, rough plumbing. The sewer line's always a problem when you go back here because most likely it's in the front. You have to dig a trench, but that's not a huge deal. I mean, in the grand scheme of things. Okay. So I like this opportunity. This is something where I think you could rent it out and do fairly well. So the estimated mortgage, if you put say 20% down, which would be in this case, you know, what was that, $100,000, right? If you put down $100,000, your estimated payment is about 3,200, and you can look at the what they think is the Z rental estimate. They have it here somewhere. Let me see. Here you go. So rent estimate is 37. So if you got 100 grand and you want to break even on the mortgage and hope for appreciation, or maybe you plan to do some upgrades or build an ADU in the back for a value add, this is a great option. It's not in the best area, but tough luck. If you want to get started in real estate, you're not going to buy in an expensive area. Those numbers never work out. But these opportunities exist out here. Will it go higher? Maybe. Does that mean it's not a good deal? No you know. So could you live in it and write off the appreciation because it's owner occupied? Yeah, that's another good option. Okay, this has already gone 6 minutes. It's crazy. I'm used to making these short videos. I'm gonna start making them a little bit longer just because I want to mix it up a little bit. And I'm by my computer and I think it's very helpful. So let's see how this one works out.